Hey, sorry guys. Hey, what's going on? Joe McCall here. Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Mastery Podcast. Really glad you're here, as I always say, but I really am. I love doing these podcasts. I'm starting to do more and more of them. It's been a crazy late summer, early fall, hasn't it? We just got back from camping, went 4 days camping with some really good friends from my church. Didn't get much sleep, but it was fun. It was really cold, lows in the low 40s while we were sleeping. But we're going to be talking today about my favorite subject, land investing. Something that, I've been talking about this a long time on my podcast. I've been doing it with my two teenage sons for the last 3 or 4 years. Together with them, with their deals that they've done, we've grossed over $151,000 in profits with just the deals that they've done. I've done much more than that on other deals that I'm doing on the side. We just sold in the last week, in the last few days, we sold a couple deals. One of them in Park County, Colorado, another one in Putnam County, Florida, on terms. So we're getting anywhere from $200 to $400 a month on average. So let's just say $300 a month on every deal that we flip. So we'll buy it for, and Ray's going to be talking about that on today's podcast, but we'll buy it for, $3, $4, $5,000, sell it for 20 grand on owner financing. That's a typical type of deal that we do. But I wanted a strategy that was so simple that my sons could do with me. And that's what I like talking about on this podcast. And I'm glad you're here. I got a cool thing for you that I'm going to give away for free. And in a second, I'm going to bring Ray on here to interview him because he netted. Now, it's not what you keep. It's not what you make. It's what you keep, isn't it? He netted over $600,000. And I'm not sure if I think it's this year in the last 12 months. I'm going to ask him here in a minute, but netted over $600,000 flipping vacant land. And we're going to be talking about it because you don't have to have a complicated business. You don't have to have a huge team. You don't need to be spending thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing every month. These are vacant land deals that you can flip from your computer from anywhere in the world, and your teenagers could do it. All right. We're going to be talking about that. Now, if you want more information, I got a free giveaway that I'm going to give you here. You can actually get the contract that I use for all of my vacant land deals at simplelandcontract.com. Simplelandcontract.com. Just put your name and email in there. We will send it to you, and I'm going to invite you to a 60-minute class that teaches you how to use that contract. You get it for free. Simplelandcontract.com. Go there right now and check that out. Now, this is a podcast I do live on YouTube and Facebook, even LinkedIn. And a lot of you guys are watching right now. Most of you are listening to the audio podcast, which I'm really, really appreciative of all of you all. But if you're watching live, I'd really appreciate it. Just give me a thumbs up and comment. Tell me where you're from in the comments right now. Tell me where you're from in the YouTubes or the Facebooks, wherever you are. And just say hi. Tell me where you're from, where you're listening in or watching from. And if you have any questions, type them in the chat or in the comments of YouTube or Facebook or wherever, because I can show them here on the screen. And then that will tell me, hey, I can ask Ray this certain question, or maybe if something's unclear and we can make it more clear, right? It's like Angel here says, hey, from Arlington, Texas, what's going on? And Samuel Bell from Kansas City. Hi, how you doing? So love seeing those kinds of comments and chats. Keep them coming in. Say hi, tell us where you are from. And I want to make sure you are liking what you're getting here. And good. One more time, again, simplelandcontract.com. Is it time to bring Ray on? This is Ray John. Let me bring him on here. Boom, there he is. Ray, how are
Hi,
you?
Joe. Good. How are you, Joe?
Really good. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ray, and he netted over 600 grand flipping vacant land. Over what period of time is that, Ray?
Actually, it's over 800 for now because we just closed two deals in the past month. I closed one today. I bought it for 70. I sold it for 155.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So, okay, I want to talk about this because market's changing. I thought home builders weren't buying land anymore. I thought everybody was getting scared and not buying vacant land because interest rates really high, inflation's really high. We're heading into recession. There's a ton of fear and panic out there, but you're still doing deals as recently as today. You're closing on these.
definitely. Because we have a recession-proof model, I believe.
Yeah.
Because our model is we determine how much we buy by the price sold within the last 3 months. So as you know, even if we are in the recession, there are still people buying and selling, right?
Yeah.
Even the price drop, we just buy it on the percentage of the dropped price. So basically, we are not at risk.
That's such a good point, guys, because whether you're wholesaling these or selling them with owner financing, you're buying land for 20, 30, 40 cents on the dollar, and you're selling it for 75, 80 cents on the dollar, maybe. Or if you're selling it for owner financing on terms, you're selling it for maybe 100% of what it's worth. But here's why this is recession proof. And I love this point, Ray. You made a good point of it. Like, no matter if the market's going up or going down, we're looking at recent solds when we make our offers. So if prices are going down, guess what? We're making lower offers and we're still selling it low enough where we get a lot of demand. Doesn't matter what price they're selling for. Doesn't matter if it's market's going up or down. There are still people buying land right now. There's still people buying houses, right? And we're just going to sell it to them for whatever price they want it for. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay, Ray, real quick, back to my original question though. Did you net 600 or 800 grand in the last year or in the last 2 years or what?
From January this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, this is October 3rd as we're recording this right now. From January 1, 2022 to October 3rd, 2022. And even if you're listening to this 2 years in the future, don't let these dates throw you out, okay? Because I was first learning about land 6 or 7 years ago, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome," and I was afraid I missed it. And when I started doing deals with my sons 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, "Oh no, I missed it. It's too late. There's too many people that know about this, or the secret's out, or whatever." Guys, this is now still today and 5 years in the future. This strategy will still be working. Just want to clarify that. So, in the last 9 months now, we're into our 10th month of the year. You've netted almost 800 grand.
Yeah. That's about it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray.
And the good thing is I only do the work about 2 hours a day.
2 hours a day.
Yeah. And I only have one virtual assistant in my team.
One
That's it.
virtual.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
I
pay
love
him.
it.
I pay
Let's
him
talk about
$2
this,
an
Ray.
hour. Yeah, I pay him $2 an hour. That's about it. So
$2 an hour.
yeah.
Well, that's really generous of you, Ray.
Yeah, maybe I should pay more of it.
Maybe. We've got a bunch of comments coming in here. Here we go. Samuel says, I came in late on the podcast. I just want to get started with land flipping. You're in the right place. Matt Bills, my brother. Matt Bills is a good dude. We do a lot of deals together and work out together even. Go to the same church. Okay, so cool. Ray, how did you get into land investing? What interested you in it, and why not houses?
I tried houses. I was living in Hawaii, and to wholesaling in Hawaii is very, very hard. I bought a lot of your course about virtual doing the house. Was that about notes or something like that?
Well, we've done a couple of them. What was
Yeah.
virtual wholesaling or automated wholesaling, maybe?
Yeah, I tried them all, but for houses, if you're not in the market you are in, it will be a little bit harder to wholesale. Even virtually is very hard. But
Much
I just
harder. Yeah.
yeah, and in Hawaii it was almost impossible. And I really want to get into the real estate game, so I was thinking, what about land? So I just try to flip land, and out of pure luck, in the first year I hit a guy who owns about 150 parcels, and
Wow.
he said you can just buy them for 1,000 each. I bought them all. I sold single one of them in 4 months for $2,000 to $2,300.
So you bought them for 1,000,
Yeah,
and you sold them each for about $2,300 or $2,400.
yeah, in about 4 months. And
Nice.
I thought there was a little bit more to it because I think it was just luck. I cannot get lucky every day, so I try to think if there's a better way to do it. I try the term sell, like what you're doing right now. I didn't really like it because I want to accumulate cash fast.
Yeah.
So I asked Tom Curl, who is your friend. I said, do you know anyone who do more land deals than me? And he introduced me a guy called his name is Brent Bowers.
Yeah. I've interviewed Brent. He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's awesome, and he does primarily terms as well.
Yeah.
I asked him, "Do you know anyone who do just cash flip people like they do a lot of volume?" And he said he know a guy from the military, and he does more than $1 million profit in 10 months.
Hmm.
So I thought I found the right guy, so I follow him like a puppy. So and that's how I did it, I guess.
Okay, so talk about what you're doing now, then, and then what parts. Well, let's talk about your overall business strategy. Your goal is to wholesale the deals, like be in and out really quickly, right?
Uh, I buy them and then I flip them
Yeah.
right
Are
away.
you buy them? Are you buying them with your own money, or are you using private investors?
Yeah, I use my own money yet right now.
Okay. Give an example. What's a typical deal that you, not your best deal, but like an example, typical deal that you do?
I try to net about 20,000 each deal right now, and I normally buy. Today I just got 2 deals. I We are under contract for 29,000 each. He has two side by side, and the realtor just called me, and he said, conservatively speaking, we can sell this for about 65 each. Um, I think it doesn't happen every day, but at least I want to net about 20 grand each deal.
Okay, you want to net 20 grand on each deal. Now,
Yeah.
what's your typical buy box? What are you looking to buy and what are you trying to sell it for?
Um, I When I look at the sold price, I typically look at around about 50,000.
You want to buy
Or
it for 50?
no, I look at the sold price.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I will offer the neighborhood, the entire neighborhood, for about 20, 22. And then when they call me back, I will renegotiate again to bring down that price. Uh, Maybe I'll buy them for 20 and sell them for 47, 40, 45 ish.
All right. So you're looking for properties, vacant land in the what'd you say, 40 to 50,000, around $50,000.
Yeah,
That's about what it's worth. That's what they're selling for.
correct.
And you will offer 20. Did you say 20?
Yeah, about 40% of the sold price.
Okay. So if it's
Yeah,
worth 50 times 0.4, that's 20 grand.
yeah,
That's one of the things I teach too. Like when you're going after the smaller lots that are worth maybe 10 to 20,000, 25,000, you want to offer 25 cents on the dollar, but you can get away with offering 40 cents to 50 cents on the dollar in
mm,
the, general rule of thumb in the 50 to $100,000 price range. You can offer a higher percentage.
definitely.
Okay, cool. So typical deal, it's worth about 50. That's what they're selling for. You're making an offer for about 20,
Mm,
and then you have a little room to negotiate, and your goal then is to sell it quickly
mm.
for a little bit less than what they're currently going for, right?
Correct. And for land, there is a natural disadvantage for landowners, which is, first of all, the land don't have power. Some of the land outside their power, but you have to drag a line into your property. So normally when people call me back, I'll just tell them, "Hey, brother, your land don't have power. Your land don't have water. Your land don't have septic tank, and your land don't have a lot of trees. I have to cut. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of fees, and what's the best you can do for this
Mhm.
lot?" So normally when they hear that, they got kind of hammered with this all this disadvantage. So they will bring down a lot of price. For example, I bought a deal in about March this year. The typical sold price nearby was about 65. um, I offered 22 for the entire area, and he called me back. I just tell him your land don't have this, and I said how much the best you can do. He said maybe the best I can do is 8,000. So he discount himself, and
Wow.
I eventually bought it for 6 grand. I sold it.
Amazing.
I sold it the next day for 57, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. So talk about this then. Are you sending blind offers or are you sending neutral letters?
No neutral letter. Everything is has an offer on it.
So your initial mail is the actual offer of what you'd offer them.
Yes.
And then when they call, does it go to voicemail or do you try to answer it?
I try to answer them live, but if they go to voicemail, I think it could be better because some people just don't like the price. They will curse, and I
Sure.
just listen to the voicemail. If they're, don't want to sell it, I just don't call them back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you ever tried neutral letters?
I tried before, and it can work. But the thing is, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. That's why I started a coaching business with this, and a lot of my students they have full-time job. They don't have a lot of time, and that's what I learned from that military guy. He only have 1 hour a day, and he did more than $1 million profit in 10 months.
Yeah.
So if you do the neutral letter, I think it will be very hard to handle.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think I like the neutral letter for one very good reason, simple reason. I get more calls.
Yeah.
And everything goes into a voicemail, and my VA sends the offer out. So I want as many calls as possible that go to voicemails. We send them an offer. We still don't talk to them until after they get our offer. But before we send an offer out, if it's a property that's on a lake, they're going to get a higher offer than a house that's not on the water, right? So I'm always trying to adjust my offers based on similar comps, and they're easy to find on Zillow. But okay, very good. How do you pick the counties that you're going into?
It's very easy. Right now, I'm probably in like 30 different counties. How I pick it is I just go on Zillow and you choose the sold and only land and sold within the last 3 months, and you'll see those yellow dots. So just zoom out and you see. First of all, you pick a state you want to go into. Let's say Florida, and you just put Zillow sold land only and sold within the last 3 months. You see where that yellow dots concentrate.
I'm going to
And
share my screen right now. Those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can see. Here we go. All right, you guys see my screen? I'm on Zillow. And are you looking in the entire country or just you're going by state?
I go by states and states.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at Florida. Here's Florida. Do you do any kind of pricing parameters?
Yeah, that's why I love this. Even you have little money to start with, you can mess a little bit with the pricing. If you let's say you have 10,000 to invest, you just put 20 grand, max.
Okay. So
And
let's do sold in the last year, but up to these properties are in areas that are sold for under 50 grand, let's say. All right.
Yep.
And you want to make sure that only lots land is checked, right? And then do you do any kind of lot size filtering?
No.
You don't?
No.
All right then. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you do sold in last 90
3
days
months.
or
3 months. Yeah, 90
3
days.
months. Okay,
Yeah.
90 days. All right. So what do you see here? If you are listening into the podcast, we see the entire state of Florida, bunch of yellow dots. There's 8,100 vacant lots that sold in the last 90 days. Now, by the way, again, the recession kind of started 6-8 months ago. Interest rates, inflation, everybody freaking out. This is the last 3 months. People are still buying land. I love it. All right. And so you see pockets here, right? Like, what if we look at this area right here? There's a bunch of things that are selling right here. This is kind of southeast of Tampa, northwest of Miami. So if we zoom in here, would this be an area you might be looking at right here?
Yeah, definitely. I believe it was what is county? Maybe Lee County or Charlotte.
Okay, so I'm gonna remove boundary right here, and then I'm going to do a draw tool. I'm gonna draw in this area. This is near, and then I click apply. So it shows me just these properties that are in this area. This is kind of like right in the center of Florida, kind of in between Tampa and West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, right in the center of Florida down there. There's 381 properties that have sold. And so you could find what county that is, right?
Yeah.
Let's just pick one of these. Here's one that's sold for um,
Such.
I
Little
would
bit
want to
cheap.
find a good one. Here's a quarter acre lot that sold for $5,000.
Mm.
So this is in the city of Lake Placid, Florida. And I want to see what county, to see if Zillow tells me what county this is in. I don't see it here.
Yeah.
Taxes are $65 a year. Well, I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I'm not looking in the right place.
Or you can just search Google the zip code and search what county
Yes.
is that.
All right. So the zip code is 33852. Let's go to the Google. Searching zip code county 33852, Lake Placid County, Highlands County, Florida.
Yep.
All right. So you think Highlands County, Florida is a good area. And actually, there's probably, you can start looking through all of these and see all of the zip codes 33825, 33875, 33872. All right. Now what?
After that, it's a good area, but not good for me because the price sold is so low. I don't have many margins here. But
Well, let's fix that. Let's fix that because I want to do it the way you do it. Let's
yeah.
look back again at the state of Florida
Mm.
and let's do pricing. Let's do, these are properties that sold for between 25,000 and 75,000. Could we do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now that pocket doesn't have as many areas right there, right?
Yep.
But we see maybe this area up here. Do you want to look at this area?
Yep.
This is an area north of Tampa, west of Orlando. So if I zoom in, there's a lot of activity here. I'm just going to remove boundary. Then I'm going to click draw. And I'm going to kind of draw in this area right here. 515 sold properties in the last 3 months. Again, it's north of Tampa, west of Orlando. And we can dive into one of the cities is Webster, Dunedin, Dade City, Yankeetown, Florida. All right. So now what do you do?
I typically, first of all, I figure out what county is that most the sold lots in, and right now you are looking at about Hernando County. This is Hernando County.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I was in this area.
It's
Oh,
Citrus
Citrus.
County.
Okay,
Oh,
so it's a combination of Citrus and Hernando County. So
okay.
what you can do from now, there's two ways you can do it. First of all, you go to list source, and then you download a list for all the sold lots within the last 3 months, and you get that as a comparable. And then you go to list source again and download the lots that people bought it for over 5 years, and you compare that to, and you can determine your offer price.
So you're downloading lists from list source.
Yeah, that's a one way to do it. Yeah.
Can you show me how to do that real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I don't use list source. I normally use priced and PropStream. But I'm just curious, how do you get vacant land in list source? Now, I logged into list source. You get a free account at listsource.com. And you go to create your own.
Yeah.
So there's a button for create your own. You pick geography. I'm going to select county. Is that all right?
Yep.
I'm going to select Florida, and then let's pick Citrus County. By the way, again, guys, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, go to my YouTube channel, do a search for Joe McCall, and find this video because we're doing some real. This is so good. I hope you guys are getting a lot out of this. And if you are, type in the comments. Give me a thumbs up and a heart in the comments in Facebook and YouTube. I'd appreciate it. Okay. So we got geography, Citrus County, Florida. Then what? Do I go to property here?
Yes.
Property.
Property
and then
type.
There's property type is one of the selections.
Vacant land is on the top.
Vacant land right there.
Yep.
It's one of the options. Click add.
Yep.
All right. So there's 43,561 vacant land records in Citrus County right now. Right, now what do you do?
And then you select the last sold listing
Last market
La-
sale date
yeah,
and what, 3 months?
last 3 months. Yes.
Last 3 months, you bring that over. There's 507 in the last 3 months. Then what?
And then you can do a price range.
So
Last market sold price or
yeah,
sell
last
price.
market sale price right there.
Yeah.
And what do you want to do here?
It depends on your budget, but for me, if I do it, I would do from 20 grand to 150.
Right, 20 grand to 150 grand
Yeah.
add. So there's 182 lots that sold between $20,000 and $150,000 in the
And
last
yeah.
90 days.
And then I will go to options on the,
Options.
and then the corporate owned properties, no preference. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we went to options, corporate owned, no preference. So that will bring you LLCs and individuals that bought.
Yeah.
That jumped it up to 247.
Yeah. And
Cool.
then I go to, just for your knowledge, so any county sold within the last 3 months over 100, I think is a good market to mail to.
hmm
Yeah. So right now you can see we are double, more than double. So it's a good, very good area.
This is a great market. A lot of recent activity.
Yeah.
And then do you download this list?
Yeah. I go ahead and click purchase.
Purchase
Yeah.
list. Okay, we won't do that here.
Yeah. Just go ahead and click that. There's another thing we need to do.
Oh, I know what you're
Okay.
going to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All
And
right.
then we'll add. This is key. We'll
Yeah.
add the subdivision to it. Go down and add additional field is all the way to the end.
So there's additional fields, and there's
Yeah.
something called
Subdivision.
subdivision for $0.
Yeah.
And
And
you
you
click
add.
add to order.
Yeah. And then go up. There's one called lot area.
Lot
Here.
area, so that would be acreage or square feet or whatever, right?
Correct.
Add to order,
Yeah.
$0.
So this is a complete comparable we need. And then after you purchase that, it has the sold price, it has the subdivision of that property is
Mm,
in. Because I made a mistake at the beginning of my career. I mailed to the entire
mm-hmm.
zip code for the same price. That was a huge
Oh,
mistake because in any area, zip code is not the smallest unit.
yeah.
Subdivision is.
That's interesting. Now, does every vacant lot belong to a subdivision? What if it doesn't belong to one?
I think everyone belongs to something.
Really?
Yeah, and for those ones are blank, I just delete them.
You just okay.
And then after we download this, we go back to that create list, and instead of choosing the county,
I'm going to
which
save this criteria real quick
yeah
because I want to play with this after Ray's awesome list. I just called it Ray's awesome list. Okay, so I'm gonna look at that later. Now you buy the list. So this is the reason why we're doing this, and we're using list source. You can do the same thing in Priced or PropStream, but you're trying to get who are these buyers, right?
mhm.
And
And
what subdivisions are they buying in?
yes, and right now we are going after the landowners who own the land for 5 years or
Okay, so
more,
show me how you do that.
and then you create your own.
You
You
click
go back.
create your own. You go
Yeah.
back to county.
No, I go to subdivision.
Oh, look at that. That is cool. So in list source, and I don't know if you can do this in Priced or sub or
Yeah.
PropStream.
And then you choose the same Citrus
Choose
County,
the
Florida,
state,
and
Citrus County. Okay,
and
now you need to put in the subdivision here.
the subdivision will be from the comparable list you just downloaded.
Yeah. So I don't know what that is. Let me just type in one word, one letter, S. Okay,
Yeah.
I typed in the letter S and it gave me all the ones that started with S, and there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So I could pick one of these, let's say. I don't know which one to pick.
Just
Seven River Ranches.
yeah.
There's 363 to choose from, but there's
But
only two in my search
yeah.
criteria there. So yeah, you got to find the subdivision. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the subdivision has to match the one you just downloaded,
Yeah.
and and then we go to property again. We choose the the properties that still vacant land, but the last last sale date will
Uh-huh.
be more than last 5 years.
Okay, let me show you just how to do that real quick. Let's just pick. I'm going to pick the Florida Citrus County. Again, I apologize if you're just listening to this. We'll type in all of the subdivisions that start with S. I'm going to highlight all of them and click add.
Mhm.
So I brought them all in. So there's 1,356 records.
Mm.
Now I'm going to go to property. I'm going to do last market sale date. Right?
And from I just choose from 1900.
Okay, from 1900
Yeah,
to 2019 or 2017.
17.
So the sale date was 1900 to 2017.
Yep.
Bring it over. So they've owned this property for at least 5 years. Now, one of the things that I used to do for houses when I was using a list source is I would go to length of residence because they have a thing here for unknown. Now, I don't know if that'll work for vacant land because sometimes in some counties, Ray, if I do last market sale date and there is no sale date on county records, I don't know
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that will show up.
So I think maybe Texas or those non-disclosure states, maybe they don't have a data, but I've used this method for in Texas too. But in Texas, there is something we need to change because if you go to a list source in Texas, they won't have sold price,
Yeah.
or very few have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what you do is the second method I do with those non-disclosure states.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is we go to Redfin.
Redfin.
Yeah, and then we can see the subdivision there and sold price.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We'll show that here in just a second. This is so good. So last, they've owned it for 5 years. And then what other criteria do you search for here?
Vacant land.
Oh yeah. Property type, vacant land, add. Goes from 925 down to 201.
Mm. And then I choose the company too, company owned on the option.
Oh, go to options on the upper right. And so you're sending mail now to people.
Yeah.
And so you only do corporate owned?
No, no
Oh,
preference.
no, you do no
No,
preference.
no preference. Yes.
So you'll send offers to LLCs or individual owners.
Yeah, yeah.
What it makes, let's see if there's anything changes when you click absentee owned. It goes from 244.
I think it'd be
Shouldn't matter because it's vacant land.
I think it'll be 0. Oh, okay.
Well, it goes from 244 to 210. There was a small change
Yeah.
there, but anyway. All right. And then you download this list and you know these properties are selling for an average of whatever you determined from your other download, right? And you're going to
Yes.
offer 40% of that
Yes. In the same subdivision, I offer 40%. Yes.
in the same subdivision. All right.
Yeah.
Now let's look at Redfin here because I want to, I really like Redfin in a lot of ways for a couple of
Awesome.
reasons.
Yeah.
Citrus County, Florida. Okay. Now I'm going to look for solds last 3 months. Home type, we want land. And we go here in the extra filters. You don't do any filter here by lot size. Let's do price. It sold for, what was the 25,000 to 150,000? Is that what you did?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So here are my filters. Sold vacant land in Citrus County that sold between 25 to 150 grand in the last 90 days. And I'm not doing any lot size parameters or filters. So I've got 183 properties here. And if I scroll down to the bottom, boom, there's a download button right there. You can download these and put them into a spreadsheet. Now, will the spreadsheet give you subdivisions?
That I'm not sure, but you can click individual one and get the subdivision.
All right, let's click this one here. This sold for 38 grand. I click view details, and I'm
You,
looking at the spreadsheet I just. Well, there are some of the properties have subdivisions and some don't.
mm,
They're all by city. I see the city, the state, and the zip code, and then there's a thing called location. All right, interesting.
mm.
Um,
So if you go down, you see the community right
community
there.
right there.
Yeah. So that's normally the same verbiage of the subdivision. That's about the same every time.
Awesome. All right, Selena Hills. Let's look at another one just on random here. 32 grand. View details. Scroll down. Community Green Acres.
Yeah. So you see they're not too far away, but they are in different subdivision.
Yeah,
Yeah. So if you mail it the two guys, if you mail the same price, you know, that'll be bad. That'll be bad.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you're finding. I love this because you're going to see which areas have the most activity. You're looking at it from the entire state level. You zoom down into an area. I guess you could do that here in. Can we just do the whole state of Florida? I have to in Redfin. I have to pick an area, don't I? Yeah.
You can zoom out and see the
Oh,
numbers.
oh, that's right. You're so smart. All right, I'm zooming out on Redfin, and now soon I will see the entire state. Maybe it's loading 70%. Well, anyway, you can do it in Zillow,
Yeah.
and you can zoom in. You find the areas. Now, can you get subdivisions in Zillow?
You can, but not as much as Redfin. Redfin has a lot more data than Zillow,
Okay, good.
especially those non-disclosure states like
Yeah.
in Texas. Zillow don't even have the sold price.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Well,
Redfin
I
does.
do see some of these if I'm looking at them. They will show on Zillow. I'm looking here. It does have subdivision like Crystal Heights.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
All right. So the key though is getting down to the granular level of subdivisions to get your target areas. When you know the good areas where there's recent activity, you can find then all the landowners who own property in that subdivision, and you're sending them a blind offer at 40 cents on the dollar.
Yes.
Super cool. And then how often do you send mail?
I send them mail every month. Right now, I just do more mail because I have more sales. More cash I want to spend, so I spend to a lot of different counties. The county you just mentioned with your son, Park County, Colorado, that was an awesome county. I just mailed, so that was awesome county too. So
I found it was very competitive. My response rate was really low, lower than
yeah,
normal, but I got 2 deals out of it.
yeah,
And here I am complaining about the low response rate. And I got 2 really good smoking hot deals. We just sold one of them yesterday. So
yeah. Colorado, I would offer about 47% or 50%.
really,
Yeah, because they're so competitive there, and
all right. So you're targeting higher price properties. When you were just getting started, who did you use your own money, or how did you find other? How did you buy these deals and close on them?
uh, last year everything we talk about was just a theory in my mind. So I just try to see if it will really work. So I just start with 10 grand with my own money. For the sold price, I just changed it to 5,000 to 20 grand because 40% of 20 grand is 8,000, right? And then I did my first deal. I bought it for couple thousand. I sold it for the 20-ish. So I kind of started there. So after that one county, I was like, the theory works, but does it work for other county? I don't want it to just work for one county and that's it. So I tried another county, it works. And then I was like, two county works. What about other states? So I
Nice.
tried other states. Other state works. So right now, so far, I mail to about at least 30 different counties. Every time I mail, I think there are about only 3 counties I didn't get a deal, and that was because I offered too low. Colorado was one of them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, and for every single other counties, I got at least one deal.
By the way, for Park County, Colorado, I was offering 25 cents on the dollar and I got those 2 deals. I got a lot of angry people, right? And I could have gotten more deals accepted if I would have offered more. But
Right.
now we're in the follow-up stage. So I think we did some texting as well. So we sent about 6,000 letters. We did a lot of skip tracing and texting. We're starting to do cold calling here soon. And we're sitting on about 80 leads that we got, 80 leads, and we sent them offers. And the way I like to do is I like to send them the same offer every 30 days, just and keep following up every 30 days after that. Okay, so let's see. What does your virtual assistant, your VA, do for you then, Ray?
He only does the for the non-disclosure states. He collect the data from Redfin for the sold price, address, acreage, and the subdivision, and that's all he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then who do you use to send the mail?
I use there's a company called Offer to Owners
Yes.
dot com, and they do about 60 cents per letter, and sometimes the guy just give out a discount too, so it's pretty good. And
You're sending what kind of letter are you sending? Is it a one-page letter and contract, or is it
2 pages. Yeah,
two
two
pages?
pages. Yeah, the first page is talk about who I am, what company I'm dealing with, and the second page is the offer letter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how many are you sending on average every week or every month?
I used to send about 10,000 pieces a month, and this month I did. No, last month I did a lot. I did almost 18,000 last month. So
Now, Ray, you send 18,000 letters or an average about 10,000 letters a month. Some people hear that and start getting hives and they start freaking out because that's a lot of money.
yeah.
You're spending about $8,000 a
Mm,
month in marketing.
yeah, and compared to the profit you get is a no-brainer. But if you just started, start with small. One county, 3,000 letters, one costs you more than 2,000, and you got a deal. You will see the power of it.
Yeah.
Imagine you send, let's say $20,000 a month. You land a deal like the one I just closed today. You will get very good return.
This is why I love this business. Is there's so many
Yeah.
different ways you can do it. There is not one right answer. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. And it comes down to very simple math. It's the numbers. You follow the area where the demand is. Now, Ray, somebody might get nervous when they're looking at Zillow here, and I'll share my screen again. Where's my
Mm.
thing? Hold on here. Okay. They get nervous when they look at Zillow and they see all these yellow dots and like, oh my gosh, there's too much competition there. There's too many investors already doing deals there. I can't make any kind of dent into that. What do you say to them?
One thing I can promise you is no matter what, like if you are in 2000, the year 2000, or you are in 2010, or right now 2022, or maybe 10 years later, you will find out the same thing. Why there are so many competitions? There will be. I'm sure Joe, you have
Yeah.
done this a lot
Yeah.
for many years. Back then, maybe there are a lot of yellow dots too. So
Yeah.
you just have to choose a market and mail it, and some people will respond to you. And I got a lot of people asking me, why do they even sell it for 40%, or in your method, why do they even sell for 25% of their value? They're not stupid or anything. uh, it's not that they're not intelligent, it's because they have their personal financial situation they have to deal with. Imagine you live in New York, you have a land in Florida, and that land costs you money every year because you have to pay taxes. And
Yeah.
look at this land that you just showed. It has a lot of grown grass and weeds or trees, and the city will fine you because you cannot cut your own lot.
Hmm.
If you are in New York, how can you cut the lot in Florida? So you mail it to them, and they will sell it. I got so far this year, I got 3 lots for free.
Really?
I sold the first one for 12,000. The second one I sold it for 9,000, and the third one is about 20 something. And I got an oceanfront lot. This lady bought the lot for 150,000 in 2000. 150,000
Yeah.
in 2000, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
And guess how much she gave it to me?
20.
$700.
$700.
Yes. So it's an oceanfront in South Carolina.
Wow.
And I asked her, why do you sell it for $700? She said, I want a person who can close quick so I can claim my tax loss this year. So I closed it.
Oh, she was actually, this is really good.
Yeah.
She's gonna lose more money than that with taxes that she had to pay.
Yeah. So she sold to me for 700. Was able to close that deal for in 2 weeks.
Now, okay, let me ask you something, Ray, because you sent her an offer, a blind offer letter, right?
Yeah.
So was your blind offer? How much was it? Was it higher than $700?
Of course, it was 24 grand.
Okay, so then she
Yeah.
calls you and says, "Yeah, I'll sell it for 24 grand." But then what
Yeah.
did you do?
I did the same thing. You land don't have this and that, and how much? What do you think the best you can do? She said, "Oh, I really want to get rid of it." You can kind of sense the urgency of the owner, right? It's not that I want to take advantage of them but because I want to solve her problem. I just asked her, "What's the best you can do?" She said, "Probably about 3,000." So she discounted herself from 20 something to 3 grand, and I was able to bring down even more after that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're talking to the sellers and you're just asking them, does it have power? Does it have utilities? Does it have septic? Does it have well water?
Yeah.
Um, okay. And then you ask them, what's the lowest you'd be willing to take?
I will ask what's the best you can do if I pay
What's the
cash.
best you can do?
Yeah, yeah. And they just tell me a number. I don't want to throw numbers because if you throw a number, there'll be an anchor. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that. So I want them to do it first and then see um, where are they at. If they are so high, I'll bring down super low as an anchor. Let's say if they said, "Oh, I'll sell for 20," I would tell them, "How about 6 grand?" Just a very
Yeah.
a number that you feel like guilty. You know.
Well, one thing I like about what you're doing is you're talking to them on the phone. You can always close more deals when you've got them on the phone and you're talking to them. But they're
Definitely.
calling you, so there's already some motivation. There's already they expect to sell for a lot less than what they thought it was worth. But then you're saying, well, I can't pay you 22 grand for this because it doesn't have utilities already set up or whatever. But so what's the best you can do?
Mm.
And you probably ask them 2 or 3 different times, 2 or 3 different ways.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like to ask them, why don't you just list it with an agent?
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
sounds like a nice property. Why would you even want to sell it? You're not in a
Yeah,
hurry, I'm sure, right? You don't have to sell it right away. But
yeah.
that's really good. I love it. Okay, then let me ask you some more questions. This is so good. Once you get a deal under contract, you close on it, and then you as soon as possible. Is that right?
Yes.
All right.
And before I close it, there's another verification I need to do because I don't want anything happen to this land.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'll check if this land is wetland. There's a website you can check.
The
If
wetland or
yeah,
flood area.
flood. Yeah. And secondly, I'll call 3 different realtors of all the sold properties nearby. I'll ask them, hey, I just got it under contract and I'm going to fund this deal, but I haven't closed it yet. But I want to keep my money safe. So if you list this for sale, what's the absolute minimum you think we can sell this for? And they misunderstood me. They said, do you mean the maximum? I said, no, I said, what's the absolute minimum you think we can sell this for within
Mm,
30 days? So they gave me a number because realtor always kind of want to list the property for a very high price.
yeah.
I don't like that because I tell them, if we wants to sell it within 30 days, what's the minimum we can get? So they gave me a number. I'll compare that to the price I'm buying and see if there's any if
Yeah.
they're too close, I won't buy this.
So you'll verify still with 3 different realtors
Yeah,
what they think they could sell it for. Now, do you use realtors to sell your deals?
yeah, I use realtors.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And what kind of commissions do you pay them?
Is sometime I paid they want 10%, sometime they do 6%.
Okay.
I'm fine with both as long as they're good.
Do they do you do any of the own of your own advertising for these properties yourself? Do you put them on Lands of America or landflip.com or any of them?
No, I don't do nothing. So that's why I can bring down the workload to 1 hour, 2 hours a day because all the sell side is not my job. They sell it, and they sell it pretty
So
quick.
and the realtors they'll be the ones taking the pictures and everything too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you intentionally go find realtors that already have maybe an account with some of the premium land websites so that it gets sold faster, or do you even care?
I think price will determine how fast you can sell that for.
Okay.
So if the nearby lots, they're selling for about 60 grand, I tell them just list it for 50, 56, 57.
So
And
your goal is to be the cheapest
yeah,
in that area.
yeah, because I bought it cheap. So
Yeah.
I want it fast.
Okay. Now, what do you tell people, Ray, who are just getting started and they're doing what you do, but they don't have the 20 grand to buy this deal and close on it? What do you tell them to do?
Joe, I don't know if you know me. I was homeless when I first came to America.
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. If you talk about you don't have money, that was me. You, you know,
You better shut up. In other words, right? Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
I,
want to
I
hear it.
I ate one meal a day, and
Oh my gosh.
what I did is I go to Craigslist, I look for free stuff, and then I'll bring to Craigslist again for sale. So
Wow.
I used to sell mattress. I used to sell cars. I used to sell microwave, or whatever I can get my hands on to fit in my small little car, right? Because
Wow.
I drive around, I sleep in the car. So you just have to change your habits of spending. There is something you don't need, like TV, cable, or whatever. So if you're so determined to do this, go sell, buy, go pick up free stuff and collect your first 20 grand first. You can
Okay.
you can do
I
that
thought
first.
I thought you would say like find a private investor or go to a funding company or something.
You can do that too. Right now, I fund deals too, so you can reach out to me if you have a really good deal. I'm sure if someone reach out to you, Joe, they
Yeah.
say, I bought this land, it's under contract. We can do a 50-50. Would you want to do it? Of course you'll do it.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. You could just post a deal into various Facebook groups. Like if you're one of my students, I have a simple land flips Facebook group. Post your deal in there, you'll find somebody that will partner with you on it. It doesn't
Definitely,
have to even be a 50-50 split either, could it? It could be just post something on there. Hey, I'll pay you 10% of the profits, or I'll pay you 10% interest. You
definitely,
choose.
definitely.
There is no excuse, right? We got to get that out of our heads.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
Okay, let me ask you another question. I think I got that. Oh yeah, what kind of tools and software do you use?
I use Listsource, I use Zillow, Redfin, and that's about it.
Do you use any CRMs, spreadsheets? How do you track your leads?
Oh, I use a Google Sheet.
Google
Google,
Sheets.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I try to be cheap, so there's no spending, no office. I'm at home, so
Yeah. Wow, that's
yeah.
amazing. All right, so Google
Yeah.
Sheets. What do you track on Google Sheets?
I just put the owner's name and phone number, the property address, their mailing address, their email, and their phone number, and the notes, some notes, what's going on. Sometimes, you know, if you follow up, you have a lot more deals. I just put what's going on for the last call, and that's about it. No CRM for me though.
Which is one of the benefits of doing blind offers like the way you do it. You don't have as many leads to manage. It's easier to just manage it for free on a
Yeah,
free tool like spreadsheets, Google Sheets, or something.
yeah.
Okay, very cool. Let me ask you one or two more questions. I appreciate your time, Ray. The
All right.
market is shifting right now, right? People are concerned, afraid of the recession. They're afraid of whatever. Um, has this affected your business at all in any way? Are you offering less than you used to? Are you finding harder to find buyers? You know what I mean?
Yeah, typically in recession, there are more people willing to sell because they want cash, and they need money as much as you do. Um, so it will be easier to find the sellers, and based on the model we talk about, there should not be any problem. You can find the buyer because we base our model on sold price. You
Yeah,
can you can you, as long as there's activities in that city, you're good.
yeah.
Plus, with the realtor verification step, I don't think you can lose. But I lose some deals. I didn't lose it, but I couldn't sell as much as I wanted to because I bought land with the wetland. I didn't know, so you got to check if your land is flood zone or wetland,
Yeah.
and if there is a drainage problem in your lot.
So, what are some deal killers for you that you will not close on it?
So if there's a wetland, I don't buy. If the area is too cheap, I don't buy. Meaning, if you look at the average sold lots compared to the average sold houses, they are about 10% of the house price. So if a house nearby sold for 330,000 and the lots nearby typically sell for 30, there's a 10% range. So if the nearby house is only 100 or even lower than that, I don't go to that market because too much trouble. And I don't buy anything in flood zone. And I don't. There's a whole bunch of lists I listed, but I
So, it
forgot.
has to have road access, for example,
Of
right?
course, no landlock.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
landlocked.
Yeah.
Um, what if the title isn't clear? There's some probate issues or there's
You
not a
can
clear title.
work with the title company and the seller, but until it's cleared, I'm going to put my money.
So you're not self-funding or I mean self-closing any of your own deals, right? You're using title companies.
Yes, I used to do that self-closing, and then I ran into some troubles because the title is not clear. So is I have to sell it cheap. So I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. I got through all of my questions. Anything that maybe I forgot to ask that would be a good question to ask?
Uh, yeah, I think you ask them all. You're very, yeah, I have no, even though you don't know me much, but I have listened to you for years. I know you're a very detailed person, and you and Tom are huge,
I
huge
appreciate that.
inspiration for me.
I really appreciate that. Tom Kroll and I are doing a workshop in a couple 3 weeks from when we're recording this in Orlando. Maybe we'll see you there, Ray.
Yeah, probably. I'm in his coaching program
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
It's called coachmarketingworkshop.com. If anybody's interested, go to coachmarketingworkshop.com. Um, awesome. So, now people, how can people get a hold of you, right? Instagram, I think you said is one of the best ways.
Yeah, if you look at my name, I spelled it out. It's, in my Instagram, you can search virtual flip land. You can be able
Yeah.
to find me.
Virtual Flip Land
Yeah, it's
on
one word.
Instagram. They can message you on there.
Yeah, and they can ask me any questions. I'm willing to help.
Awesome. Yeah, we're getting some really great feedback here in the comments too, guys. Hey, listen, I'd appreciate if you were watching this or listening right now. Give us a comment and a review. What were some of your big takeaways? What are the big things that you've learned on this podcast. I thought this was really, really good. I really love how you kind of you self-impose these constraints on yourself because you don't want to work more than 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And so you only want a $2 an hour virtual assistant. So like, what can you do? Well, number one, you get a realtor to sell the deals, right? You use a title company. You send blind offers. You only have your VA, do the little data entry stuff, and so you're not talking to a lot of sellers. You're only talking to a few sellers. That's really, really key and insightful. I love that.
Yeah. I tell my students, the direct mail is your little army. They fight for you
Mm.
when you are sleeping, and that's how I do it. Maybe I should start testing too, because I know another guy, he only do testing. He did about 500,000 this year so far on land only.
Only 500,000. All right.
Not only, but it's a lot of money.
Oh, I know.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Ray, John, this has been very helpful, very good. Again, guys, you can find Ray at Virtual Land Flip.
Virtual flip land.
Sorry, Virtual Flip Land on Instagram. Virtual Flip Land on Instagram. And the comments here are coming in good, but we need to wrap this up. Very cool story. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon, Ray.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much for
All right, everybody.
the
We'll see you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.